how are you doing today? Sometimes good, okay, not bad. Most people in America, wouldn't you say they're not the most excited, most enthusiastic? Now, our room tends to be a little different. Where's Paul Hoffman? Paul, what do you say when I ask you how you're doing?
I say I'm nothing short of phenomenal.
Nothing short of phenomenal. Every single day, in good times and bad, he's saying nothing short of phenomenal. When people ask me how I'm doing, I say, if I was doing any better, I'd be you. And that always gets a little bit of chuckle. But the reason why this next speaker is so amazing to me, despite the obstacles he's faced, despite the fact they told him he would be dead by 6 months old, and every little obstacle he's ever had to face, this guy is smiling, and he's the happiest person I know. Richard Branson, Russell Simmons, a whole cruise ship about 3-4 weeks ago that I was on. Out of all these amazing people, multiple billionaires in the room, he was the most authentic speaker and everyone loved him. They were coming up, giving him big hugs. Sean Stephenson, he worked in the White House for President Clinton. He's a board-certified therapist. He's been lecturing for 15 years, and he is going to rock your soul. First of all, he just got engaged, I believe, just yesterday. Let's bring him up on stage. Everyone, let's give him a round of applause. Standing up, Mr. Sean Stephenson.
I am Superman, and I know what's happening. I am Superman, and I can do anything.
You good?
You can keep it coming. Let's see. There we are. Whew. Got engaged. Nothing big. Nothing big. Actually, I am ecstatic right now. A lot of people are going to ask you throughout the course of saying, so what's new and exciting in your life? And you're going to talk about your new project, your new book. I'm just going to keep bragging about this beautiful woman over here. Mindy, you want to raise your hand? Everybody, this is my fiancée, Mindy. She's not at all embarrassed right now. Love is a beautiful thing. Been to many events, 15 years of doing what I do, and I'm going to boil everything I can down to 29 minutes and 5 seconds. And I am going to also make sure that we have a good time here, because we're in a room right now that could go one of two ways. We could either go into our little networking sessions, and we could think in the mindset of, ooh, what could you do for me? Ooh, book agent, publicist, reality show. We could go in that mindset, and I've seen it done, and I've seen it done even here, and I'm just being honest. Or we could say, I'm gonna help 3 people while I'm here. Just 3, because we could act like we're gonna help everybody, but let's be honest, you're not gonna help everybody, because you maybe can't help everybody because you're not supposed to. You were supposed to be here to make a difference, and I think if you could have 3 people in your mind while you're throughout this conference, say, I'm gonna make sure that I connect at least 3 people with what they need. And put that even above what you need. Don't worry about, I put the time on my calendar, I paid this money to be here. I guarantee you, if we all just say, I'm gonna help 3 people while I'm here, we're gonna have the best event ever. So do I have your promise that we're gonna each help 3 people? Do I have your promise, yes or no? Yes. In this industry, how many people by raise of hands are what you would consider to be a professional speaker? You do lectures and get paid for it, okay? Put your hands down. How many people are professional authors? Have books and such. How about infomarketers? Anybody do information? Okay, how many people snuck in? Okay, good to know. Been doing this for 15 years, and I can tell you it's easy to go on autopilot, but it's dangerous. Because in an airplane, when you flip on the autopilot, you're actually probably even better off than if you're flying the plane, because the thing has all these computers. But what if all of a sudden the autopilot shuts down and you don't know how to fly the plane? Well, then the autopilot was useless, wasn't it? I see this in careers. I've seen it in my career as a speaker. It's so easy to do your grocery list in your head while you're up in front of a group, because you're telling the same story for the 2000th time. And you just look at the audience going, oh, wait, you're going to laugh now. Okay, bam, you're all predictable lemmings, right? It's easy to get in that mindset of continuing to do something over and over and over, switch on the autopilot, lean back and go comatose. I don't want that in your career. You don't want that in your career. So what is the alternative to the autopilot? It's flying the plane again. I mean, if you really love what you do, then fly the plane. Don't switch on the autopilot. And it's easy to switch on the autopilot when we're talking to people, right? Oh, hey, here's somebody that really can help me. Hey, how you doing? Oh, how can I help you? Right? It's autopilot. Let's turn it off here, though. Let's authentically just listen to each other. And I'm going to let you know that it's about the energy that we bring. People meet me and they just think, oh, Sean, you're so confident. I wish I had your confidence. Like I was born with some kind of confidence gene. It's like I came out of the womb and I'm like, hey, hi, Sean Stephenson. I didn't. I came into this world with challenges. You did too. Maybe your challenges aren't as visible. And in some regards, that makes it harder for you. People meet me, they go, whoa, okay, something's going on here. How can I help? You, they don't have a clue that you're bankrupt and divorced. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue that you're frustrated because your luggage got lost. They don't have a clue that you haven't talked to your children in 3 years. They don't have a clue that you're scared to use a computer. They don't have a clue that you go home and eat a lot of ice cream as a way to deal with your life. I mean, listen. I'm sorry that people can't see your problem. But I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be a problem. I want to bring the energy that I bring to my life as often as I can. You know, my fiance and my father is also here too. They can vouch for the fact that I have bad days. Of course I do. I have days that I just want to stop doing all this speaking and writing and networking. But you know what? I try to get that number down to like 1 out of 10 times or 1 out of 30 days. Maybe 1 out of 90 days. I don't think the issue is to try to be perfect here. And try never to have a bad day. Look, have you ever met somebody who never has a bad day and they're like, ee, and you're just like keeping a pool on the side of like, when are they gonna go postal, right? Let's just be honest, they're gonna snap. Some refrigerator is getting raided when you're not looking. And so I'm saying, let's be real. Let's take that energy of, you know what, we have bad days. So I'm going to break some rules here. I'm going to do some things in the time that I have with you to make this a real, authentic experience. First of all, I want you to think about the thing in your life that sucks the most. Let's just be honest, okay? Think about it right now, whether that's in your health, wealth, or relationship. Health, wealth, or relationships. I want you to think about what sucks right now. Let's just drop the reframing. Well, it's building character. Okay, come on. I got a lot of character, folks. And a bad thing still sucks sometimes, right? So I want you to think about what sucks right now in your life, okay? Then I want you to turn to the person on your left or right, and in just like 5 to 10 seconds, I want you to share with them, and you can filter it so you don't look crazy, right? But I want you to share what sucks in your life. Turn to your left person, right person. Go, let's do that now. If they say nothing sucks, I want you to slap them. All right. I want you to clap once if you can hear my hand. I want you to clap twice if you can hear my hand, my voice. All right, let's bring our conversations forward. I got 22 minutes with you guys. Shh. So we all just got real for a moment. Shh. Letting speakers talk is not a good idea, but I'm bold, right? I want you to know that it's about the energy you bring into the experience and whether or not this room is fun and connected or whether we're all individuals trying to get something. So I believe energy has everything to do with the experience. So I want to prove that to you in another activity here. I want you to visualize the most arrogant person you know. And this could be, for some of you, very easy to do. Because they may be sitting in your chair. But I hold no judgment. So what I want you to do is I want you to visualize that person. I want you to see in your mind, how does that person walk, talk, act? What do they do, right? Now, what I really do is I want you to all stand up out of your chairs, and I want you to meet the person on your left and right as if you were the most arrogant person in the room. Let's do that. The most arrogant person in the room. There would be no smiling. All right, go ahead and sit back down. Go ahead and sit back down. Go ahead, hey, arrogant people, go ahead and sit back down. All right. See, the really people that get into this. So now what I want you to do, and you guys pretended I saw that you really didn't go all the way out on that one, because what I find is that there are no arrogant people. Please listen closely. There are no arrogant people on this planet. The arrogance is actually fear that you're not enough, and so you have to puff your chest out, and you have to overcompensate. And we can all spot it, right? We can tell. We can say, whoa, that person doesn't believe that they're enough. In their business, their marriage, with their children, in their bodies. And I'm here to tell you what my life purpose is. My life purpose is to rid the world of insecurity. That's why I was put on this planet. And in my lifetime, I will rid this planet of insecurity. Now, what does that look like? Well, I'm distributing the cure. Not everybody's going to take it. And when I distribute the cure, I find that some of us think, well, but how do I be confident and not look arrogant? So I'd like to give you my definition of the difference between confidence and arrogance. Because you need to believe in yourself, right? You need to self-promote sometimes. You need to stand behind what you're bringing to the table. But how do we do that without being afraid of seen as arrogant? Here it is. You're going to want to pull out your pens. Please write this down. So arrogance is all about proving yourself, right? Arrogance equals proving. You know you're living in a space of arrogance when you're like, I gotta prove something to others or even yourself. Now I want you to write on the other side of the paper, confidence. And confidence is about improving. Whenever you find yourself saying, you know what, I want to just go read another book. I just want to learn something from this person right now. Whenever you feel like you are going to contribute to yourself and others, you're going to grow, you don't have to step on anybody, or any puffing of the chest doesn't have to happen. Whenever you're improving, you're being confident. And I think it's great to feel confident, be confident. And when I really started studying confidence, I realized it's actually not a feeling, it's a lack of feelings. It's a lack of that insecurity. It's that lack of anxiety. It's that lack of, oh man, I need to share the most exciting thing in my life right now and impress this person so that they want to spend time with me. Drop that. Now I want you to visualize in your mind the most loving, compassionate, amazing listener, the biggest smile you ever did see that's real and authentic. That person that you really admire because every time you're around them, you feel like they care about you and they want nothing from you. I want you to visualize that person right now in your mind. And now I want you to stand up and meet that person next to you as if you were that person and they were your best friend and you hadn't seen them in 1 year. Do that now. Stand up and meet that person. Okay, go ahead and start sitting down. Go ahead and sit back down. Go ahead and sit back down. I know you haven't seen him in a year. Is there a difference, yes or no, between the first way I had you meet somebody and the second way? Yes or no? Yes. And this isn't like a icebreaker, cheesy little motivational idea. No, this is truth. When you meet somebody, you have to remember they're going through things that are sucking right now. Sucking is a technical term. They're going through tough times. You know, when I meet people, I don't go, oh, well, they're not in a wheelchair, and they're not 3 feet tall, and they didn't have 200 bone fractures by the age of 18, and they don't get stared at, so therefore they have it easy. I don't do that. Why? Because I know that it's not easy being human. I know no matter what your challenge is, I don't even get to see it, maybe. And so I'm just going to open my heart to you. And I'm going to say, hey, you and I have emotions. I've been in this amazing parts of this world. I've spent some time with incredible people. And I've got to tell you, everyone is incredible. Everybody has something amazing about them. Their story, their talents, their passion, whatever it may be. And you know what we all share in common? All human beings share. Well, I'll prove it to you in an activity. Raise your hand if you've ever been happy. You don't have to be happy right now. Okay? Put your hands down. Raise your hand if you've ever been sad. Okay, put your hands down. Raise your hand if you think you're sexy. Really? I have some bad news to break you guys. I caught a lot of people looking around for approval on that one. Am I sexy? I don't know. Is this a confidence test or an arrogance test? We all have one thing in common. We all share emotions. Emotion is the human currency. And I believe that when we start to share emotion, we begin the process of connection. But if all you're doing is sharing information, you're just communicating. And communication will never be enough to massively transform this planet. Surely not this room. We have to exchange emotion. We actually have to feel something. And we all have emotions. Even barring neurological damage where we don't see a person having an emotion, they may still have it on the inside. And emotions are amazing. You know, I've met people and I found that we all kneel over graves and cry. And we all kneel over graves and cry. We all get that phone call where it's like huge news is on the other end of the line. It's either really bad or really good. And our heart is beating out of our chest. And we think, please, please, just make this be okay. We've all looked into somebody's eyes that first moment and we said, I love you. And waited to see what are they going to say back. Look, we all have emotions, don't we? But sometimes we forget. We go on autopilot. And autopilot is the lack of emotion. It's the neutral numbness. It's so easy to do because then we can do our to-do list and we can dream and plan off into the future and forget that we only have now. I love my life and I love what I get to do. And really what I get to do that I enjoy more than actually being up here or being in an office as a therapist working with the client is looking into your eyes. And I'm not being cheesy, I really do. I love looking into your eyes because I play this little game where I actually like fantasize as if I can read what you're going through. And maybe see just a flash of like how amazing you are and how much of the world you've yet to even scratch with your potential. And I want you to look into other people's eyes while you're at this event with that kind of stare, that kind of excitement. And I want to share with you a couple of techniques that we can really make sure that this room is connecting and not just communicating, that we're actually contributing and not just gathering. One of them is we want to just drop the fame stare. Do you know what the fame stare is? I learned this actually by finding somebody who doesn't do the fame stare, who certainly could. I worked, and put aside your own political beliefs. I worked for a while for President Clinton. And while I was working with President Clinton, I noticed something about him. No matter who he was talking to, whether it was myself or another colleague or whomever it may be, he was looking into your eyes. And, a leader of another country could walk in the room and he's still with us. But the fame stare, I've seen it. It's, ooh, somebody more important. Oh, goodbye. I know I'm still talking to you, but I'm already over there with Jack Canfield. Or, oh, hey, whoa, Brian Tracy. Well, let's drop that. I mean, amazing men, of course. But they themselves would tell you the fame stare doesn't make them feel good. Doesn't make any of us feel good. When we're looking into each other's eyes, let's hold the promise that that person's a human being and we're going to really connect with them, and then we're going to close that conversation when it's ready, and then we're going to go on to the next one. Let's drop the fame stare. The next thing is the best conversationalists understand ping pong. Raise your hand if you know how to play ping pong, okay? If you could stand up right there, sir, if you could stand up. How does ping pong work?
I hit the ball over to you.
Yeah, and then what do I do?
You hit the ball back to me.
What if I never hit the ball back? Right, and what if you never hit the ball to me? Do we play ping pong? No. It's a game going back and forth, back and forth. And I find that some people really suck at ping pong. Let's use it in a conversation element. When you just keep talking about you, and then at the end you go, oh yeah, now tell me about you, I gotta go. That's like somebody hitting the ball, and you're like, give them time, folks. Give them time. And vice versa, if all you do is ask, but you never share, well, we don't get to know you. So it's a game. It's a playing of enjoyment. How boring would ping pong be if we never hit the ball or they never hit the ball? We have to have it on both sides. And so here's what we're going to do to assure that we're all going to play ping pong. If somebody is not playing ping pong, if somebody is hogging the ball, you have permission to let everybody take your index finger up. You're going to touch their nose and go, beep. It's the only way I've seen it work, okay? So I want you to turn to your neighbor and lightly touch their nose and go, beep. And this is really going to work. This is going to work. All right, one last thing. One last thing when you're connecting with people. You want to make sure that you're creating a bond with them. Let's get really good at asking people their names, even though we're wearing name badges. Let's get really good at using their names in sentences with them. What's your name? Marcia, good to see you. Didn't we see each other yesterday? Yeah. That's right. Good to see you, Marcia. Let's use people's names, not because it's a technique, right? But because I've heard, and I believe this, there is no sweeter sound to the soul than hearing our own name in a loving voice. Let's use it. Let's interact with people in that way. I'm going to close out by sharing with you something that I think is going to help you in your life once you leave Sang. By a raise of hands, how many people deal with stress in their life? You too? All right. Stress is the biggest killer. It is not all the other elements that get thrown up in the news each day. It's this product, it's that product. Now this product's safe, now it's not. You know what it is? It's stress is killing us. And it kills us immediately sometimes, and sometimes it kills us over time. And not all death is being put into a grave. Sometimes death is being put on autopilot. Sometimes we get so stressed, we're feeling so many emotions that we just shut them all off. And that's not healthy either. So what we need to do is we need to relieve our stress in loving, healthy ways. And the best way that I've found, because You can imagine if I wanted to, I could be really stressed out. I could get totally engrossed in the fact that I can't do this. I don't look like that person. How am I going to get there? How am I going to do this? Why am I in this situation, right? I would have a lot of reasons, which are just excuses and fancy packaging. I could have a lot of reasons to feel sorry for myself. I could have a lot of reasons to be upset with the world. But I found it doesn't do me any good. And it certainly doesn't do the world any good. And it doesn't perpetuate my purpose. So I found that there is a way to relieve the stress without damaging myself in the process. Because you know what gratification is? That's a way of relieving your stress through damage. That's all gratification is. Every time you gratify yourself, gratify. Instant gratification damages you. Sometimes it's a little bit of a damage, sometimes it's a lot of damage. That relieves stress temporarily, but actually causes more stress on the back end. I want to help fulfill you. I want to help you relieve the stress in a positive way. So we're going to do this through humor. I want you to write this phrase down. It's going to help you laugh more. What's funny about this? Big question mark. What's funny about this? When you are getting stressed out, even if this event, you're getting frustrated with something, I want you to ask yourself, what's funny about this? Because I'm telling you, what crumbles people is not the big events. It's not September 11th. That's what usually brings us all together. Unites us. It's the little stuff that tears us apart. It's getting worried about the traffic, that taco sauce wasn't right on our taco. We had to wait for an elevator. I can't believe they only had croissants, no fruit. I mean, it's all of those things. It's taking little things and making them big. Well, I'm going to help you relieve that stress with this question. What's funny about this? Animals in the wild, when they study them, they found specifically monkeys. They're being chased by a predator, right? Run, 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 run. They finally scurry up the tree, but one comrade gets caught. And he's being eaten and devoured. And all the other monkeys in the tree point and laugh. And I'm like, man, monkeys are sick. Oh, really? Because last time I checked, you and I go spend $10, $12, $15 on Friday nights to buy a movie ticket to laugh at Jim Carrey fall down a flight of steps. Why? Because we're thinking, whoo, wasn't me, right? That's kind of funny. You have to ask yourself, what's funny about this? I learned that when I worked on Congress. You want to laugh? Go work for Congress. And so I'm working on Capitol Hill. I go in early. My congressman had beat me to work. But I had my hot tea and my newspaper, and I just wanted to spread out. Didn't have time. He said, Sean, come in here. Real grovelly voice. Sean, come in here. Yes, Mr. Congressman? Sean, I need you to run an errand on the other side of the Capitol. It's really early. I know you've never been to this side of the Capitol, but can you do this? Yes, Mr. Congressman. Took the note, took the hot tea and the newspaper. I headed out. Got to a part of the Capitol I had not been to. Got to the elevator bank that I'd never been in. Now, if you're a little perceptually challenged, I'm not very tall, okay? And so I can't reach most elevator buttons, so I travel with an elevator stick, also known as a back scratcher. Anyway, so I press the button, the doors open. I go inside the elevator, doors close behind me. I'm now looking for my floor, find my button, press my floor, except nothing happens. I'm getting a little frustrated, thinking, what's going on here? Push it a little harder. Nothing happens. Then it dawned on me. On the outside, the buttons were pressure sensitive, so the stick worked. But on the inside, they were heat sensitive. And my elevator stick wasn't hot enough. So I thought, what would MacGyver do? If I had a pack of chewing gum and a tampon, I could make a bomb. Right? So I started heating up my elevator stick. Press my floor, nothing happened. The elevator stick wasn't hot enough. Now my temperature on the inside is getting hotter. I'm getting stressed. I'm thinking, how did I get on this elevator? Why wouldn't they make it accessible? So I'm thinking, okay, Sean, heat this up like a thermometer. So I put it on my armpit, and I'm getting my juices on it, getting my friction, right? Get my friction, going to town. I press the floor, nothing happens. So can I be really vulnerable and share something embarrassing, yes or no? Okay, you've been warned, okay? So I'm thinking, Sean, you're 55 pounds of love. You can heat this up with your entire body if you sit on your elevator stick. So I am now sitting and grinding on my elevator stick. I'm like, who's your daddy? What? Like you never said that. Anyway, so I pull this out. I press my floor. What do you think happened? Nothing. So I asked myself a question. What question did I ask? Nothing was funny about that. So that's when you have to ask yourself a repeat question, follow-up, which is, what could be funny about this? Well, I started to think about the little camera in the elevator. I started to think about the guys watching the camera. He's like calling his buddies in the room. It's going up on YouTube. I mean, that made me laugh. And the stress started to evaporate. So finally, I just pulled out my newspaper, my hot tea. I thought, great, little mini break. So I started drinking. Finally, 45 minutes goes by. Somebody calls it from the outside. Elevator comes alive. The doors open. I roll down to the department in charge of the elevators, the maintenance department. I talked to the guy in charge of the elevators. I said, sir, you are trapping people with disabilities whose arms aren't long enough. They have to use elevator sticks. Their elevator sticks aren't hot enough, and the door's closed, and the buttons won't heat up, and I can't believe you guys do this. And he said, boy, they don't conduct heat. There's not heat that they need. There's electrical current that they need. They need a current through your body. If you would add just a little bit of tinfoil on the end of your elevator stick, you would have been fine. I looked at the man. And I said, who comes to work with tinfoil? Am I going to be in the elevator like, hey guys, want to bake a batch of brownies? No. But we started to laugh. Why? Because we were looking for what's funny about this. This event can be funny. This event can be authentic and connected. Let's make sure we take off the autopilot. We really are caring. We're exchanging emotions. And let's make a massive difference at Sang 5. Thank you so very much.
Sean. Hey, Sean. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sean Stephenson. You're a rock star, baby.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for doing it.
Thank you.
Hey guys, you guys okay? Sean, how can we serve you? How can the community rally and support you? What do you need?
Well, I'm now doing a lot more speaking, traveling, sharing this message. The biggest thing is, you guys can sit down, that's awkward. That we need to rid this world of insecurity. And so we're doing it through conferences and corporations and associations. So if there's somebody that you feel like, wow, they have to have Sean on their stage. I mean, this was kind of customized just to you guys to make it sure that we're all connecting together. But I often tell my real life story of how I got to this place, to be madly in love with an amazing woman, to be successful in a career that I built on my own, and to be in incredible physical shape, even though I was supposed to be dead within the first 24 hours. And this message needs to get out there, that people need to be loving life and loving themselves. So if there's an event or an organization or a company, you say, boom, Sean, you would be perfect for, I would appreciate that.
Anyone can just raise your hand by a show of hands. Is there anyone in the room that might be able to support Sean and just stand up for you? Just stand up if you can. I don't know if you can see all these people, but
Perfect.
Can you guys get to see Sean before you guys leave? Because he may not be able to get to all you. So that would be good. So there's enough people here that can help you.
Beautiful, thank you.
Okay.
Awesome.
I just noticed Tamara Lowe stood up, and she runs the largest live events seminar company in the world named
Okay.
Get Motivated.
Right.
That might be a good start.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you
Congratulations,
very much.
Sean Stephenson. All right. Now, we talked about connectedness, and we talked about authenticity, and we